Hello everybody, back to my story. This is the year 2013. Okay, came back from South Africa, broke and drinking. Now there's a guy named Ken who used to live 2 doors down from my mum's flat on the 2nd floor. We used to play cards and drink together. Cool guy. Okay, when I went up to the shop here after I came back from South Africa, there was IGA there. A couple of cute girls used to always be working there. One day I saw Darlean there. She's a young girl, probably about 20 years old. She used to live in the caravan park with me. She used to be in the caravan next to me, and her grandparents used to live in another caravan there. Nice girl, she's a Kiwi, Maori chick. Yeah, I saw her. She had moved up into a house here with some Indian guys. And when I used to go to the shop, I used to pass her house sometimes or see her at the shop. And she used to tell me, she showed me a house one time in a room. In her room she had a wedge. I asked her what's the wedge for. She said she puts it under the door at night in case the guys come to open her room door and stuff like that. And I thought to myself, wow. If you're worried about guys doing that in a place where you're the only female and you live there, probably shouldn't be staying there, you know. But anyway, I guess it's just a safety precaution she was taking. Yeah. I used to ask her to come over to the flat, which is only up the road. And for some reason she never came over, which was quite strange because I thought we were quite good friends. And I thought we were comfortable in each other's companies, and she didn't come over once. I thought that was a bit strange of her, and anyway. Then after a while she moved, she was gone. Didn't see her again, didn't hear from her again. I asked her if she would braid my hair for me, give me cornrows. That never came, nothing came about of it. Anyway, I saw Wayne. He came over. I was at the flats one night and I was going to go out and get an escort. And as I was going out the door to get an escort, Wayne called up. And then so he kind of changed my plans. Then I waited for him to come over. Then there's a security door downstairs. When people come to visit you, you have to let them in with the security door downstairs. You've got to go open it. So I went downstairs and I saw 2 black kids sitting down on a bench and they were looking at me smiling like they know me or they know I'm up. The way they were looking at me was like I'm up to something or they know me from somewhere, you know. Anyway, I went and let Wayne in. We sat around for a while. I had a bag of rock on me. The bag of rock I had got off Craig Hector. I met Craig Hector through Rob Baum. Rob used to get rock. Apparently he used to traffic it from Indonesia. And Craig used to sell rock. He used to buy rock off Rob and then sell it as well. So if I felt like dabbling in smoking some rock, I'd get it off Craig or Rob. So anyway, I had some rock on me which I had gotten off Craig, I think. Big bag. He's always giving me big ass bags of rock. Anyway, so I gave Wayne some, because Wayne also dabbles a bit now and again or whenever. So I gave him some and then we went out for a drive. Then he was talking to me about being paranoid, you know, like somebody's following him and stuff. So we went for a drive to the casino. He wanted to put some air in the tires. He's got a new car, so he showed me his new car when we went for a drive. Commodore, nice one, a grey one. So he wanted to put some air in his tires. We went to the servo. So as we jumped out, Wayne went straight into the servo. I'm like, oh, okay, no worries. So I jumped out, kicked the tires a bit. You know, like a high now. So I'm making like I'm looking like I'm doing something. Kicking the tires, checking out this and that, no one around. So Wayne came back. He didn't even put air in the tires or worry about checking the tires. We just jumped straight into the car and left. And he kept talking some paranoid stuff. Kind of put it down on my night or on my mood because he was being paranoid, you know. So anyway, he came back to my place. We recorded some music off the computer. He put some music on a CD for me. burnt it to a CD from the computer. And anyway, he went to use the toilet and came out of the toilet. Then he left, he went home. Then he called me back up in the morning because he wanted some rock and I still had some. And I said to him, nah, just wait, except because there was a few things going on there at the towers. You know, it's like I feel like people were watching me and stuff, you know. I was feeling a little paranoid. So I said to him, nah, hold on, you know. Wait till later or tomorrow, you know, so then we can catch up and dabble or whatever. And then he got all pissed off at me and sent me this message saying, this and that, well, stuff you, this, that, blah, blah, blah. I'm down for my homies, all this bullshit, etc. So anyway, we had a falling out because he sent me a message that was just so much bullshit. It was basically because I wouldn't give him any rock, because I wanted to wait. We could have caught up in 2-3 days' time. So then he had a falling out with me over that, over drugs. So I haven't seen Wayne since. It's bullshit because he's done that to me before. Anyway, Natasha Sallie. I started talking to Natasha Sallie when I was at one of the jobs. I think I was in Marandu. We were doing a stacker there. Put up another stacker. Then we started talking on Facebook about old times and stuff, because I took her to a ball once and we used to kiss and pash, you know, young love and all that stuff. And anyway, it was good her getting into contact with me, and I asked her for photos. I had asked her for photos in 2011. 2013, 2 years later, she calls me. We connect on Facebook. Then she sends me a photo of me and her. I'm standing behind her, holding her in a hug, you know, and we both got the cheekiest looks on our faces. So it was cool catching up with her. And she said to me, I said to her, I stay in Brownie Towers, you know, so she said she'd love to catch up and give me the photos in my hand. And I thought, cool, man, no worries. I told her where I'm staying. I gave her my phone number. And I told her when I get back, we can catch up, shoot the breeze and have a good time. Nothing came of it. Never heard from Natasha again. Erissa also contacted me in May 2013. We made contact on Facebook. We were just talking, shooting the breeze, talking about families, old times and stuff, and kids and everything. And then she said, yeah, we should catch up for a beer sometime. Cool, no worries. Again, gave her my phone number, said when you're free or whatever, we can catch up, shoot the breeze, have a good time. Never heard from her again. Anyway. I went to an ANZ bank in town. Forrest Chase. Okay, before I go on, I'll just say this. When I was dabbling by my mum's house, I used to look after her dog. His name's Pickles. So I used to go to work. My routine basically was go to work, earn my money, do my part as a man. When I came back from work, sometimes I would dabble in smoking some rock and looking after the dog. I'd take him for a walk, have a smoke, and just enjoy the night, you know what I'm saying? That was almost a routine. Everything was good. I was living a dream, bro. Anyway, back to this Forrest Chase story in the bank. I went to an ANZ bank in town in Forrest Chase, and there was a red-headed girl serving me there. Nice girl. And when I was doing something, she said, "Tut tut, tut tut," and I looked at her and I thought, wow. You know, it really caught my attention, because that's what I say to my dog. That's what I say to the dog when I wanted to listen. I say, "Tut tut," and then it'll stop what it's doing and then look at me and wait for instructions. The red-haired girl at the bank said that to me, "Tut tut." I thought, oh wow. I never told her, but I thought to myself, that's what I say to my dog. Anyway, as we keep going, yes, if I wanted to dabble, I was getting a rock off Rob in South Perth. He used to stay in South Perth with his mum in a unit there. And Craig Hector. In May 2013, Kate Munroe contacted me as well. She said something about blood cousins. My mouth is dry. Hold on. I'm going to get a drink. Hold on. So Kate Munroe contacted me and she mentioned something about blood cousins. I can't remember exactly what the conversation was about. Okay, now sometime during this year, beginning of the year sometime, me and Hailey had spoken about meeting up to organize what we're going to do about Lorenzo. So we spoke on the phone, we organized a lunch date one time. And then it came up to this lunch date, I think the day before, I spoke to Hailey on the phone and she cancelled the date. She said she can't make it because she has to go to work. I said, okay, no worries. We'll catch up some other time. Never heard from Hailey again. So we had organized a date to catch up and do something about Lorenzo for me to take control of my parental responsibilities. And nothing arose of it. I never heard from Hailey again. Okay, I went for job interviews and drug tests and drug and alcohol tests, DNAs, for CBI. I'd done all this paperwork for CBI because I was going to go to Gorgon Gas Project. I was on my way there. So I'd done all the paperwork, everything. I went and done the tests and had the interviews. And I was so excited because this is a job I wanted, you know. I was staying at my mum's house. So I was going to go away for 4 weeks at a time on the Gorgon, save my money, get my house and my cars, see my kids and all that. So I done everything, done the tests, everything, had the interviews. We had to do calculations, working out circumferences, diameters, what do you call this piece of steel, like PFC, parallel flange channels, and universal beams and columns and that sort of stuff. Easy stuff for me. I've been an engineer by this time, I've been an engineer 20 years now. 94, 2004, 2014. Yeah, I've been an engineer almost 20 years now. Boilermaker welder. This was in 2013. So I done all the tests and then I never heard back from her. I think it was Lisa or someone. Her name was the lady I was dealing with. Then about 2-3 months later, I thought I haven't heard back from him. So I called her up and I said to her, what's going on with this Gorgon project, you know? And she said to me, oh, well, Baden, your paperwork didn't go through on the internet, you know, my application forms. And I was like, but I filled all of them in, I've done everything. And she's telling me they never went through. And I thought, if that happens and people have paid for you to do all the tests that are required to go to the project, that costs them money. So people don't just let you go or they'll call you up and say, look, Baden, we need this paperwork filled in right away, ASAP, because it's got to go in, get profiled, and then we're going to send you to the project because it's costing us money. They don't just leave you in the lurch, you know what I'm saying? So I was very, very disappointed. I was very upset because that's my Gorgon job gone now. And it's for the excuse of my paperwork not getting done on the internet. I was having a few problems with the internet and I told her. So all she had to do was call me up and tell me that my paperwork hadn't come through yet. She didn't do that. It's like the time lapsed and she just said, oh, your paperwork didn't go through. Now, which I thought was a bit strange because, yeah, because they don't usually do that. You know what I'm saying? Because it costs them money for us to do tests, and welding tests, and DNAs and interviews, giving us clothes and all that stuff. So that passed, I was quite upset about that. Anyway, I tried to organize mediation for my daughter, Aliyah. This was I called up the Federal Advice Bureau. The last time I saw my daughter was 2006. Me and my wife had an argument about child support down in Berwick Street and Canning Highway there by Hungry Jack's. We had an argument about child support, and that's the last time I saw them. I hadn't seen them since. I had tried to do mediation after she just disappeared. I didn't know where they lived. For 6 to 8 years they disappeared. I didn't know where they were. She took my baby just out of my life like that. In 2007 and 8 I tried to do mediation. I've still got the forms now, my parenting orders kit. I filled about 3 or 4 of them in, and I tried to get them done. I couldn't get them lodged with the courts because I didn't have an address of where Mervy lived, or my daughter. So I couldn't find my paperwork with the courts. I paid a lawyer to tell me that. I went to see a lawyer for advice, and he said to me he couldn't find my parenting orders kit because I didn't have an address. And 2 weeks later he sent me a bill for $40 for a consultation. And that was the whole reason I went to see him, was because I didn't have an address. So he charged me to tell me the same thing that I already knew. Anyway. So I spoke to a lady, I think it was, what's her name? Katherine. Katherine Lawrence. Spoke to her about mediation for my daughter. This was on 4th of June 2013. So she was telling me I have to attend family dispute resolution, which is mediation basically. And that was the 4th of June. Now I sent her all my details, when last I saw Mervy, when last I'd seen my daughter, what had happened. And I gave her all my information through email. She had emailed me. So on the 4th of June, she sent me this letter saying that I have to do mediation. Then on the 7th of June, which is only 3 days, she sent me a letter saying, unfortunately, your matter has been deemed unsuitable for mediation. And I got a certificate which was valid for 12 months, saying that I had attempted mediation. Yeah, so I couldn't do mediation, I had to go to the courts. So anyway, I ended up seeing my wife, Mervy. Around that same time, I was walking through town one day, and she walked past on the phone. I was a little excited. I kind of went to tap her on the shoulder. I said, hey, Mervy. Mervy. And she was on the phone, and she just kind of looked at me. She kind of just looked at me sideways, you know, and ignored me, and kept walking. I was a little disappointed. I thought it's quite strange why she doesn't want to talk to me, or why she didn't talk to me. I thought she would have stopped, got off the phone, and then spoken to me so we can talk about my daughter. But she chose not to, and she kept walking. I was quite confused about that, to tell you the truth. I was confused about that. I was confused about the whole scenario of why she had left all of a sudden. How come she thought she can just leave and take my daughter and disappear, bro? Disappear, man. Anyway, I saw Maresce Chillum in the city in July. Beautiful lady, Maresce. Yes, we had hooked up in 2006 after me and my wife had separated. Me and Maresce saw each other a couple of times. She used to come over with her daughter, Hailey. And me, her, and Ashanti used to hang out sometimes. So I went to a lunch date with Maresce. I contacted her on Facebook. I thought, how you going, you know? Catch up for old time's sake. So I went to her office in Perth. And I was waiting in the waiting area for about maybe 20 minutes or so. Until she finally came out. Then she came out and we took a walk up the road. And as we walk into the restaurant where we were going to have lunch, she's got these big pictures all over the city painted of her face, you know. I was thinking to myself, she's like a celebrity, you know. It's pretty cool. I didn't say nothing, I was a bit awed on the inside. Anyway, we had our lunch, we had some iced tea. I walked her back to her office. Caught the bus home, and on the way home on the bus, she called me up and said, "Oh, Biden, yeah, I don't think we should see each other anymore." I was like, "Fine, not a problem, no worries. Take care of yourself, yeah. And I'll see you around, wherever." So, and that was that. Belinda Johnson made contact with me around that same time. That's my cousin, Auntie Beverly and Patrick's daughter. She's the youngest. There's Janine, Belinda, and is it David? Yeah, David Johnson, yeah. I had gone to stay at their place in Sydney in about 2000. I was having a few problems in my life, dramas in Perth.